Hello.
Hey, I'm sitting next to Leah. Hello, Leah.
Hello, Karen.
Leah comes in our chat room. You went to look at a boat, didn't you?
I did today, yes, and hopefully it's going to be the boat of my dreams. So we'll see.
Yeah, and Leah also does I use Leah's music for the intro.
Thank you.
For Sun and Moon. No, thank you. It's really great meeting. Oh,
It certainly is.
Yay!
Hey.
The pressure's on.
The heat is on, the pressure's on. I'm not used to being on camera.
We've just been looking. I've dragged Leah up to my little prison, my little office room, and we've been looking at star forts and stuff.
We have, yeah. So star forts. What was the tower you're looking at as well?
Well, it was Donington Castle.
Donington Castle.
And which is a tower with some turrets. Then I went to Glastonbury Tor just because, I don't know, it says it's supposed to be a church up there, but we've looked.
Yeah, the Glastonbury Tor doesn't look like there's anything else other than the tower ever been there, does it?
No, and it's on a weird hill.
Yeah.
With another smaller weird hill in front of it.
Yeah, very sculpted hill, isn't it? So.
Yeah, and then what was the other thing? So it was the Tor. Oh, Merlin's Mound.
Merlin's Mound, yeah.
A small pyramid, 10 miles from Silbury Hill, but it looks like, you know, it's a stepped one, and then you look at the Tor and it looks stepped. But
yeah,
I've been looking at Donington Castle and it looks like it's actually on a star fort.
Definitely looks like a star fort, especially with the old diagrams matching the shapes that's still in the ground. It's got to be a star fort.
Yeah.
And I think that picture that you showed me where it was being built looks like they're putting in a moat as well to me.
Or a wall.
Yeah, well maybe it's both, because it seems to sort of dip down and then come back up again and back over, doesn't it? So, yeah.
I mean, we'll never know now, but some of those star forts are full of water.
Yeah. Well, they're built around rivers so that they can fill them with water or fill whatever needs to be filled with water quite easily, can't they?
It's weird because they're called forts, but they're not forts at all. And they've sort of, the military have sort of gained them somehow.
Yeah, because they are in very prominent positions, aren't they? On tops of hills or right on the coast.
I know, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Hey Leah, as I've got you here.
Yes?
What? Oh, poor Leah. What, Oh, actually, I might have to just check, do a few minutes at a time.
Okay.
Because...
I can wipe my face up a bit and get the sweat on.
Wait a minute. Leah.
Yes, Karen.
What got you into Flat Earth?
Well, I started years ago with the Zeitgeist videos, and that started to open my eyes to all the lies in the world. There was nothing really to do with Flat Earth at the time, but it started me on the journey. So I worked through all those different things like religion and money, politics, what the government do and what they're supposed to do and what they don't do. And over time it ended up looking into the moon landings, and then all of a sudden there's a little bit of information about Flat Earth. And at the time me and my brother were quite into all the truth stuff, and I'd got him into quite a bit. And I mentioned it to him and he was like, no, it's rubbish, it's got to be. I was like, just look at it. I can't remember what video I showed him, but it changed his mind as well. It might have been one of Eric Dubé's videos, with a lot of information in one video. But it started me and my brother looking at the world around us through our own eyes.
So your brother's a Flat Earther then?
Yeah, he's not as much as me, but I'd say he's definitely a Flat Earther, yeah. After some of the chats we've had, some of the talks we've had about the moon and about the stars, about things that you can see. There was a particular time we were sitting, we'd been out bike riding one winter, and we were sitting on the seafront at Southend looking across the Thames estuary, and we noticed some really strange effect where all the lights on the opposite side of the river looked twice as close. Everything looked twice as big. And we're sitting there thinking, are we both tripping out, or is this some sort of visual effect?
Is that like my Silbury Hill experience? You know,
I
when
think
we were
it was
at the car
like,
park where the pyramid grew.
I don't know. I think it was possibly that atmospheric lensing that they're talking about, but it was in the cold. So it was really cold, crisp, clear night, and everything on the other side of the river looked twice as close to us as it ever did before. So there's another time, similar place, we sat having a bike ride, we sat down for a break, and we're looking across towards where the sun would rise, and the sun's setting at the time, so the sun's setting in the west, and there's crepuscular rays coming through the clouds in the east, and we're like, this doesn't make sense. There's not a moon there, the sun's on the other. Something that I noticed particularly, various times in my life I've seen the new moon at night, so you just see the shadow, and that doesn't make any sense on a globe model, because the sun needs to be behind the moon in that situation, or a solar eclipse. So new moon doesn't make sense either to me. I can't make sense of it in any way on a globe model. It should be only visible when the sun's up, and it can't be visible because it should be in front of the sun, and it should then really be an eclipse. So there's something very wrong with that.
And also, I bet you couldn't really get away with it because you live on a houseboat, don't you?
I do. I have done for some time, yeah. So,
and also, you provided a couple of very nice videos, time lapse.
Oh yeah, my little trip from September. Yeah, that was
Leah's
very
part of
eye-opening.
Sun and Moon. Actually, you're a very big part of it because obviously your music gets played on all my videos.
Every video now, yeah. Thank you.
Oh, it's a great song. Well done.
Thank you. I like to tinker with music still. It's a artistic outlet, I guess, but don't have much time to do that sort of thing these days. So when I do, if it comes out good, it's like that one did. So
was the water anything? Did that play a part in it for you with your boat?
Definitely. I've always loved the sea. I've always loved water. Living by the Thames estuary and having a beach to go to growing up made a big difference to how my connection to the water. But on that trip, the videos that you displayed on SAMFU, I noticed a couple of things out there. The first thing I noticed was, I thought, oh my God, the Earth is curved, because I could see there's 2 wind farms on the way out, and I could see what looked like the turbines getting closer and closer to the water. But then at a certain point, I was looking through a wind farm back towards the land, and what appeared to be curved couldn't have been curved because I could see the beach way beyond the wind farm. And now, knowing the actual beach, and knowing it's not a very prominent piece of land, and the houses are only, say, 10 feet above water at sea level, it would have been impossible to see the beach beyond this curve. So I realised that there's all kinds of visual effects over the sea. It was a very hazy day that day. Beyond the wind farm, another wind farm that was looking out towards the sea, I could see the ships disappearing into the distance. Very long video.
No, it's great!
You started again?
I have.
Yeah, so I could see, it was a very hazy day, and looking out to sea through one of the wind farms, again there was the effect of the turbines sinking as if they were going behind the curve, but the ships way in the distance were still on top of the horizon, in their full shape. There was nothing disappearing below the horizon, so it was easy to see that there's various different effects, visual effects over the sea especially, that change the view at different distances. So
I know.
You can't really tell.
Did you ever watch Enslaved by No Media?
Yes,
that
yeah.
bubble thing that he did. You know, the sundog sort of halo-y thing in the sky.
Yeah.
Like all the different, like when
your personal horizon, your personal bubble.
Yeah, that bubble means it's that part of the sort of thing, you're this close, that close. Each part makes it look close. What is all that about?
I know. And there's lots of strange things out there. Especially now people are noticing and looking for what is actually weird. A lot of people are noticing a hell of a lot more things than we've ever even considered, I think. But I kind of agree with that. I think we do have a personal horizon. Everyone's vision is slightly different. If you've got
it's
very
a bit weird.
good vision,
We've got a 360 eye and a 360 pan around,
Yeah.
and our line of sight is a circle. It's so annoying, isn't it? Because it has to be that way, but it is the opposite of what. Well,
Yes.
sort of.
Well, yeah.
It hinders a bit. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the distance we can see, I guess, at the limit of that, if we turn around, we draw a circle, that limit of what we can see. Obviously, if the air quality, the moisture in the air,
and it might look like it rises up, but it doesn't. It's just the way our eyes see things, or that line of sight.
Yeah, I fully don't believe that, like with the Chicago skyline and superior or inferior mirages being brought back over the horizon at such distance, it doesn't make any sense at all. A lot of these globe Earth.
The thing is, though, even if, say, it is mirroring it or making it larger, in reality, so say those things across in America, across lakes and that, they're going to be, what, 30, 40, 50 miles away. And even if there's some lensing which makes it look closer to you, if you're on a ball, how would you get that mirroring?
No, and it always looks flat. It doesn't look like there's anything leaning away. It always looks flat. The image that you can see just looks like it's away from us. It doesn't look like it's over a hump, being brought back again. There's been a lot of footage with mirages now. So
sorry, Leah made me laugh then.
but yeah, all the footage showing all the different mirage effects at different distances, and showing people walking their dogs disappearing behind the mirage. When you're out on a boat at sea, you clearly see where the mirage line is.
Wide awake. Wake up. I put his video out and he was talking about that with his photography, that there just becomes this level that you just, it's like it just blurs everything out.
Yeah, it's almost like, I think it's where the furthest point away that you can see, the lines are almost parallel. Obviously, you know, it converges over the distance, but by that sort of that distance away, everything's too close together, I think.
And he was trying to explain that, you know, like what you're looking at looks like just a small part of the sea, but it's actually compressing miles and miles of flat water. Yeah.
Well, something that confused me while I was out were some of the buoys you cannot see, the floating buoys that you pick your course with, and they're maybe 2 miles apart, and they're not very big, about half the size of a car, and you wouldn't do it without binoculars, you wouldn't do it without charts, because you simply cannot see that far. And I was debating, are they behind the horizon? And it was simply that they're too far away. The first point you can see them, they're like a tiniest of pinpricks, and you can still just about see whether they're green or red, even though it's like smaller than a pixel in your eye. You've just about managed to pick something up on the horizon through the binoculars. You can see what colour it is. Now, you wouldn't expect that, because we're used to looking over land with all kinds of colours interfering, whereas when you're at sea, there's not much colour difference, and that green or red sticks out like a sore thumb from as far away as you can see it. So I didn't expect that when I was out, so that was fascinating. But really, the way that the turbines seemed to go behind the curve, but beyond that, whether it was a boat or land, was sitting on top of the horizon. It's flat. It's got to be.
Hang on. So what you're saying is, those buoys are so far away, and yet, so really you cannot see them with your naked eye, nothing like that.
They're too small. Once things, I mean, you watch a jet fly away in the sky. When it gets to a certain point, it's gone. It's just, we can't see it anymore. It's beyond our field of view. You know, it's not big enough to be seen at that distance. It's the same with the buoys. Good thing is, with the cargo ships, they're so huge, you can see them from, I'd say 10, 15 miles away. And there's still a looming shadow. I think I was quite fortunate on the day that I did that 52-mile trip, because it was hazy. I think if it was very clear, very sunny, you'd have had a lot of reflection off the water. There would have been a much more noticeable, or maybe a larger
you would have been able to
mirage.
See this,
Yeah, so I don't think I'd have been able to see as far. And it possibly would have changed my mind. I might have seen, in fact, I don't know, because I haven't experienced it in a different condition in that particular place. So I don't know what would have happened with the the effects that the wind farm appeared to be like, and seeing way beyond it, maybe it would have been completely different. Maybe the wind farm would look flat, but I've maybe not been able to see the ships or the beach. So need to get out and get some more experience doing that, which is what I'm going to be doing quite soon.
Yeah, so you went to see a boat today, because what do you really want to do?
I want to go and start sailing around the world for the next... until I die, really.
On a catamaran?
On a catamaran, yeah. So when I'm doing it, I want to take lots of footage. I'm going to get the right sort of cameras, and as much as I can, I want to represent or get pictures and videos of all kinds of different places. I will obviously be getting off the boat and climbing up hills and mountains and stuff at different places around the world, and I want to show a different view of the world that most people can't see because they're not out there on the ocean, they're not travelling, and they're not going to get to see those sort of things with their own eyes mostly. So
basically, you live on a houseboat.
I do.
And you're buying the catamaran.
I'm selling my houseboat and I'm buying the catamaran so I can learn to sail properly and just go. So I've got some ideas of how to earn a living. I'll keep them to myself at the moment, but there's ways to do it, and it's a cheap lifestyle. If you've got the right boat, you can do the jobs yourself, or most of them. I can have a very humble lifestyle and travel for the rest of my life. So.
Hey, hang on a sec. Leah's showing me a video that they've made. Leah, talk me through it.
This was early morning, about half an hour after sunrise on the River Medway, and the dew or morning mist is coming out of the woods and off of the water and rising up and flying up into the sky off over the field. Basically, you can see, even though there's no breeze at all, there's a lot of movement with the mist, probably generated somehow by the heat, and it seems to occasionally spiral upward and break off and just float off up into the sky.
Yeah, you were saying that you're wondering if this is how some of the clouds are made.
It's got to be, hasn't it? I mean, you don't ever see it happening like this, not in this sort of detail, but it's supposed to be lifted off the sea and land.
It's only a minute long, but so you're, you know, if you're looking, they're spiralling up and then breaking off.
Almost look like spirits, don't they?
Like they're being pulled by the sun.
It's just absolutely beautiful as well. And the different currents in the mist or whatever it is. You know, not even the lightest of breeze. You can hear the birds singing and everything.
It is weird how they sort of spiral up and then wisp into nothing. What it is we're not saying any of this is, well, we've seen it loads before, but it's what it means now, what you're looking at. Yeah. You realise you're looking at something different.
The river's very healthy, the woods around it. The river's full of fish, the riverbank's covered in damselflies and dragonflies in summer. And it's waking up to see this in the morning was fascinating. I never quite see it performing like this again.
Because there's no wind.
Yeah, it's just absolutely dead calm.
You know what though, if you're on a high altitude balloon and you watch the light coming in, the light almost looks like this. It's just a different colour because it's light. Because they're gases. It comes in like this, as if, well, I put it like, that's like Dracula's coming.
Yeah. It is spooky almost, isn't it?
Well, it's just gone out of focus a little bit. And how long did this go on for?
At least half an hour. It started about half an hour after sunrise, when the sun was hitting the water, and lasted for about half an hour before it got too warm, and then...
Leah's all videoed out at my house. They came to visit me, now they're going to be on YouTube. Yeah, it's incredible. It's not that we haven't seen some of these things, but, you know, do you like watching Pete and Pete as well?
Yeah.
Peter and Pete.
They look at things in a completely different way, which I think people need to do. There's a lot of questions that still are unanswered, and we're not going to answer them by sticking to the the answers we have. I don't think.
And also, you said they were spiralling up.
Yeah, it's like some strange heat currents. I guess tornadoes are created by different pressure and heat. I suppose this is similar on a microscopic scale.
So they sort of go whiz, poof, and some of them go up higher.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like there. Wow.
They're like mini dust devils.
Okay, the video's finished. Thanks a lot for that, Leah.
No problem.
Yeah, maybe we can try and get that on, like, seeing it properly.
Yep, I'll try and get that for you. So
yeah, a bit more detail. Anyway,
when we work out how to get it off of my iPad.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's Leah again. Thank you, Leah.
Bye-bye.
Hey, back on now. I think I've interrogated Leah quite enough now.
Questioned a lot.
Hey, but it was good, and anyway,
Yeah.
now the chat room can get to know who you are. Anyway, Leah,
Bye.
Thank you very much
Mwah.
for coming to meet me, and it's really
Thank you
great.
for having me.
And I, have you actually bought the boat?
Not yet. But
Right, you're gonna think about it.
I don't need to think about it. I just need to sell my boat now. So
Hey, anyway, it's really great to meet Leah.
it's great to meet you, Karen.
Hey.
Hey, bye.